Okay, one and all. Welcome to everyone who's live. First of all, I know you guys know what to do. You grab your phone, you put in the calendar, same day, same time, each week. We will be here organizing some collaborations, joint ventures, partnerships from a place of our heart, a place of love, place of kindness, place of generosity. This has been kicking off and very, very popular because a lot of people are starting to feel that a lot of business and a lot of business building is falling out of alignment for a lot of people in terms of the way we grow business. And a lot of people have reached out, especially in the last couple of months, and said, look, I'm trying to grow my business, but I just want to give and I just want to make a difference. I just want to help. And I started to realize that we can actually build a business from that place and not have to separate the two of generosity and kindness and making a difference with business building and sales and marketing. A lot of people have separated that. What I've been doing in the last, especially the last few months since I started my meditation journey, is just combine the two and realize that once you come from that place of kindness, of love, of generosity, of just wanting to make a difference, you can actually build your business with a lot more resourcefulness, with a lot more kindness, in a way that expands your spirit, not just expands the ego. Is what a lot of people are building their business from, right? And so I just decided to create this community and create this environment for people to allow that spirit to flow through them and not only meet some cool people, but also while they meet those people, ask themselves a question of how may I serve? Right? A lot of people get stuck into the fear, the doubt, the scarcity, the frustration, because they're asking themselves the primary question of what can I get and how do I get? And when I achieve that, I'll be happy. And as long as this happens and this doesn't happen, I'll feel peace. Right? But if we can actually come from a place of how may I serve? How can I serve this person? Who can I connect them with? How can we collaborate? How can we form some sort of partnership? Right? What resources can I offer to them? What links can I share just from a place of kindness? And so I just decided to house this environment where people allow that energy to flow through them. So I'll introduce some really awesome people today. And while you're listening to them, you can start to ask yourself that question of how may I serve this person, and be creative and resourceful with that. And if you can't necessarily think about how you can specifically help them, a lot of people have been reaching out and saying, how can they help the expansion of this community and the expansion of these calls, which is why so many people join live, is because a lot of people are inviting their friends. A lot of people are sharing the recording of the YouTube clip, the link. And a lot of people are just jumping on and seeing creative ways of how they can expand that. So I'm always keen to get your input on how we can expand this, on where it can go. My real key is just to make sure that everyone who's here live can meet the right people and do that. So in order to kick this off, as always, one thing we do before I invite everyone else on is just to remember a time when you were to just do a random act of kindness, right? Or you did something that was just from your heart because it felt right. It felt like the right thing to do. It felt like a pull. It felt like, I don't really care what the outcome is or what I'm going to get in return, but you just did something because of that. I tell people all the time, some of the best shifts I had at the restaurant I used to work at was when I paid for a table's meal. Right. And Brody was with me when we went down to Aldi in the supermarket and bought the staff some chocolates for Easter. Right. Random things like that. Just because it feels aligned, it feels expansive. Right. And I'm sure you can see when you do a random act of kindness, or you just are generous from a place of giving because it's who you are, you very much operate from a different energy. Right. The energy is just like there are no problems. Right. The energy is, how can I give? What can I do to create a difference? Very, very different energy compared to what can I get? And if and getting is not a bad thing, right? Obviously, but it's when it's your primary focus, You can feel that's not deep down who you are. And I think we can build our business and we can get just as a byproduct of what we give as our primary focus. And you can feel what it feels like internally when you give from that place of generosity. That's an indication, right? First of all, I'll make sure everyone has the link, because I generally have a few people message me saying, "Oh my God, I can't join." It seems like everyone has the link. Awesome. So I'd love to invite some people on to have a chat and see what it is they're doing, so that you can not only meet them, but you can ask yourself that question of, how may I serve, right? If anyone has a podcast and is either the host or is looking for guests or is wanting to be a guest, put it in the chat, because there's going to be some people here who can leverage their network and leverage their platforms to add more value to the world. So I know plenty of people have podcasts. So if you have a podcast, feel free to put any business links, any links to your podcast, any links to some application forms or forms that you just want to fill out to organize a chat in your calendar. Feel free to do that. Feel free to do that. If you're looking to be a guest or if you're looking to be a host and have some guests, make it known, put some links down there so we can all chat. I know Dan's got an awesome podcast. He's had many people on here as guests, and it's doing really, really well. So feel free to put any links, anything. If you have a group, a podcast, a platform, a place you're going to leverage to release some awesome content, feel free to do that and connect with everyone. Also, we have the Slack channel. Everyone on here is in the Slack channel. I have everyone gathered here that's off of the main social media platforms. There's many reasons for that. But I decided to start Slack, where everyone can engage there and everyone can start to form those collaborations off of this Zoom call. So we can meet new people here. But if you want to do that kind of work off of this call, jump on the Slack. I'll grab the link. Jump on this Slack channel, because you'll be able to just do this in your own time as well and meet some cool people, and also share any business links there. I should have done this beforehand, but I didn't. Okay. I'll put the link in the chat. And so those who haven't joined yet on the Slack channel, you can feel free to do that. I'll set my chat to all panelists and attendees. That is how you join the Slack channel and meet everyone on here to organize your calls, organize some meetings, and get things rocking and rolling. So I'll invite Johan to be a panelist if you're ready to rock and roll, my friend. And then we'll get Brody on for a little bit. Then we'll see who else. I wanted to invite Dom as well. We'll see if we can get a few people on here. Johan, your Zoom's working. That's always good. Feel free to unmute yourself when everything's catching up and introduce yourself to the community.
How's it going, everybody? Johan Nagera here. Tyson, you can do an introduction for me if you don't mind.
Yeah, I was going to let people know Johan's one of the most influential, inspirational people I have in my network. He's here in Melbourne. Met him a while ago, and instantly he became just such a valuable piece of my network that I just started sending him so many people, and therefore he invited me to his event that he runs, and it's all part of Business Authorities. So people can reach out to his Facebook group, Business Authorities. Is it Business Authorities Community now? What did you name the group?
That's right.
Yeah. So so you can jump on there, and it's just similar to this. Is everyone who's combining to organize joint ventures, collaborations from a heart-centered place, so that you can increase your profits, so you can increase your impact. And since I went to Johan's event, the 2-day event of just meeting some awesome people, my network here in Melbourne was set. It just all expanded from there. But Johan comes from a real cool place of just giving and service. And although he's had immense amount of success in business, he just continuously asks himself the question of how can he give, how can he make a difference, how can he serve. So I'd love to give you the floor for 10 minutes or so, and just share a bit about your next upcoming projects and how the community might be able to help.
Sure. I'll share about what happened at our last event. So the last event, which was in March, 1 week before COVID hit, we had our event. It was amazing. And people asked me the question, hey, we had this great event. What can we do for you? And I put my hand up and said, I'd love for you guys to connect me with any tech startups or any unicorns, potential unicorns. Now, if anybody knows what a unicorn is, it is essentially a tech company that's about to, explode and go through the roof. So from there, Scott Amberley was in the audience, and he called me up the next day and said, hey, Johan, I need you to meet this guy. His name's Nikolai. He's amazing what he does. He's got this great vision. Let's connect. So we connected, and Nick had a vision to build an app to control, to do contact tracing, essentially. This is before Singapore launched theirs. This is before, the government had their COVID safe app, etc. And so we decided to put in all our resources and efforts. Tyson, you were part of that. So we created Impact App. There was 30 companies collaborating. No one got paid. It was all a joint effort in order to create some good in the world. And we did this, and over the next 6 weeks, it was an incredible journey. We built the app. We were about to launch it in Australia when the government said, hey, no, you can't launch yours because we're going to launch ours and you're going to outcompete ours. I said, well, they actually, anyway, there's a long story around that, but they invited us to collaborate with them and help them get their app up and running. From there, the app is now going out to Bangladesh. It's a third world country. They can't afford, technological solutions, that sort of thing. It's getting released to 160 million people. So the point of telling you that story is that one little idea, one little connection can lead to impacting so many people's lives. Like, we never dreamed that it would go out to 160 million people and help them in their time of need. Now, it's going to evolve into a lot of different things to help their government. And yeah, small things, small people, small connections it's the greatest thing in the world. You never know where one connection will lead. I was telling a story the other day. One of the concierges in a building that I used to live in 5 years ago called me up and said, hey, I've got this great connection for you. And when I was growing up, my father taught me to treat everybody equally. It didn't matter whether you're the CEO or whether you're the janitor. Everybody's equal. Everybody has families. Everybody's got brothers, sisters, loved ones. You talk to everybody. This guy called me up and he goes, I've got a contract for you. Can you do this job? Now, this is a multi-million dollar job. And I went, man, thanks. How come you thought about me? He goes, you're the only person who'd stop and ask me about my day and ask me about, what's happening in my life. And that sort of philosophy is what this whole group is about. That's what Tyson has built here. An amazing group of people who are just always helping each other and helping people without asking for anything else. You were talking earlier about the difference between people asking for money in their jobs, or not in their jobs, in their business, and then trying to live their passion at the same time. And there's a disconnect there. And that's what happens when people are just, I have never asked, not never asked, I've never ever thought about what we do as a job. It's all, or as a business. It's all, how can I help you? And if I can help you make $10,000, $50,000, $100,000, are you happy to pay me this amount of money in return? It's a simple, this little question, which somebody taught me 10 years ago, because I used to be in the same position as, I used to feel bad about charging people money for something that I thought was, hey, free. You can talk to me and I can show you how to make hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of dollars. And I used to feel bad charging for that. But now it's when you realize that you're helping them And by them by you not charging them what your worth, your value is getting diminished. And if you're doing really, really good work, and there's all these people out there who are asking you for stuff and they're not giving you something in return, then there's an imbalance. And when there's an imbalance, soon you will start self-sabotaging, because in your brain, you'll start saying, hey, I keep giving to people, I keep adding all this value, but I'm not getting anything back in return. Hey, Tyson, I'm yapping on here. You feel free to lead me, feel free to ask me some questions. And I just want to, I'm here not to ask anything of the group. I'm here to just share and help. So help me in helping your group, please.
Well, you've already done it with your energy, and I can sense in the comments a lot of people are wanting to chat. A lot of people are wanting to just share their gratitude, because you come from that place of giving and of service. And no doubt anyone who has a podcast, Johan's got a crazy story of all of the ebbs and flows of business and personal life. So he will definitely rock the mic if you have him on your platform. So Johan, before you jump off, make sure you put a link to your Facebook in the chat so people can reach out quickly. Share us a little bit about your group, about business authorities, or is there anything else we can come together and do to help with this expansion or help with your next moves?
Yeah, for sure. So business authorities was built because, unfortunately, so while I was riding this wave of success with one of my companies, we took it to 20 million in 4 years, and it was the most amazing thing that I'd ever done. Now that company is fully systemized. I don't need to work in it. It's growing. It continues to grow. While that was happening, 2 of my friends committed suicide, which messed me up, because all it takes is one conversation. I wasn't there. I wasn't present. I wasn't available for them to contact me. And this hit heavy. And from there, I started reaching out, because I was so caught up in my own world. Like literally, I was working 16, 18-hour days to do what we needed to do. So I decided to just slow down, stop. And then that's what led to systemizing the business, saying, hey, I need to stop working so hard. And so now we've got 3 companies working in that business to replace all the stuff that we were doing. So from there, I started reaching out to my friends who I hadn't seen in a long time, friends who are business owners, etc. And I realized that most business owners suffer from depression, anxiety. They think that they're all alone in this journey. They get into business out of passion. They love what they do, but then soon as their company grows, once they get 2, 3, 5 employees, generally it's 4 to 5 where they plateau, they can't grow anymore. And then they've got a job. They built themselves a job, because now if they don't wake up, they're responsible to pay those people. And if they don't pay those people's families are affected. And so through that whole realization, I said, why are all these businesses struggling when, in 4 years we can achieve something so great? Why are they struggling? And so we sat down, we distilled everything that we'd learned over the last, 2 decades. And not only just from my knowledge, from my mentor's knowledge. Now I have the privilege of being mentored by a couple of billionaires. And that in itself has expanded my mind and my thinking and the visions of what I want to achieve. So from there, we created Business Authorities. Business Authorities is a 10-step, it's not 10-step formula. It's pretty much the way to build your empire. And from that, we've built this community of business owners who love helping each other. And that's where I met you, Tyson. You came to our first event, and our journey here now, we're nearly 2.5 years in. And you're right, the amount of people that you refer to me all the time, you are freaking amazing. Thank you so much. And not just any people, like top quality people. So I really, really appreciate that, because it has a compounding effect. Every time I meet one of those people, it stacks on top, and the impact that we can create is so much greater. So, yes.
Totally. And that's why we're here. That's why everyone on here knows of community and knows how powerful it can be, because one connection is not one connection. You put one connection and you gain access to all of their network, right? And that's why everyone on here is probably asking themselves, who can I introduce to Johan? Who can I introduce to him? And how can they collaborate? How can they contribute? So before you jump off, put a link to not only the Facebook, but also to the Facebook group. just throw it in the chat so everyone can jump on there and engage with your content and how you help people build their empire through the steps and the lessons that you've learned along the way. That would be awesome. Feel free to add Johan to your network, because he just offers so much value and is just always really keen with getting to know you, helping you, and how you can collaborate moving forward. So feel free to do that. Anything else that you want to add, Johan?
I'm all good, man. I'm here at your service whenever you need me. So thank you.
You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Awesome. Very cool. One sec. I'm very bright with this huge ring light I've got going on. Okay. Let's see who else we have here. Brody, do you want to jump on? I think he's ready. Now, Brody, you have about 3 minutes. So unmute yourself. Say hi.
Hey.
This is someone who looks like me. Yeah. I've been talking to Brody for a while and being like, mate, jump on the Zoom call, jump on this, because he's got some stuff coming on. He loves podcasts, loves doing some cool things, loves meeting new people. So I thought I'd give him the floor for 3.5 minutes. Share what it is you're doing, what your podcast is all about, what your program is, what your passion is, everything like that. I'll start the stop clock. Go.
Can the first 2.5 minutes be of us talking about how we're wearing the same thing and how it's totally awkward?
Maybe.
Cool. Yeah, big shoes to fill. Well done, Johan. Tyson talks about you all the time. You're a rock star. Okay, so what have I got going on? I have a podcast. I have started 6 months ago the Run Smarter podcast, and pretty much based off the fact that a lot of runners get injured. A lot of runners, or 80% of runners, get injured within a given year, and the majority of that is because they make training errors and they don't really know how to train. And then once they're injured, they don't really know what to do once they are injured. So the Run Smarter podcast is about trying to build on your running knowledge, build on your running wisdom so that you can survive and thrive as the runner. And so if you have a good running story, Jeff's on the call as well. I saw Jeff Cragen, and he was actually appearing on my podcast and has a really, really cool story about pain and overcoming the mind-body connection, that sort of stuff. Really good, really inspirational. And so if anyone's interested, if anyone wants to know my story, if anyone has a really good running story or wants to build on their running knowledge, that podcast is there. I'm also launching the Run Smarter online course, which is it's like the podcast on steroids. It has like a whole bunch of videos and a whole bunch of content for people to continue to learn on building a lot of value and building on their running wisdom to become a healthier, stronger, smarter runner. And so at the moment, what I'm doing is trying to delve into the affiliate marketing world and getting the podcast out there, or getting the online course out there, and partnering with affiliates, and they get a nice, handsome commission for sales that they attract. And that's what I'm doing at the moment. If you want to know more, you guys have my details. And yeah, that's pretty much it. How'd that go for time?
Yeah, good. The Brody's been a physiotherapist for a billion years now, and his passion basically, whenever he has a running client, he just lights up. He could talk about him all the time, all day, every day, and so that's where his passion comes from. And give us an understanding of where your knowledge comes from, where your passion comes from, and where this knowledge comes that you're putting into the course and in the podcast.
Oh, good question. I was a physio for about 3 years until I became a runner. So 3 years into my physio career, I started running, and then pretty much realized straight then on, as soon as I started loving running and would have a client who is a runner, my energy levels and my motivation would just elevate, and it'd bring out my better self, and it'd make me deliver or heighten my physio expertise. And so once I tapped into that, and I'm like, oh, there's something to this. I want to build a whole entire career around it. And so yeah, so my training took me to national, international conferences, trying to learn from the best ways to deal with running injuries, why runners get injured, how to most effectively deal with that. And so now whenever I'm in the clinic and I see a runner, it just brings out another heightened level of enthusiasm and passion for the physio career that I have. And so, yeah, if I could take that passion that I get every time I see a runner and build it, a whole career around it, then yeah, I'm bringing out my better self and I'm delivering my better self to the clients that I serve. So, yeah.
Awesome. And now you're taking the online route and doing online physio. Give people an understanding, because you've been a physio for, what is it, 8 years?
Yeah, 8th year now.
Eight years, and now you're doing your own thing and doing it online. Give the members here a good understanding of what online physio looks like.
Yeah, so I am transitioning into full-time self-employed, and for the last 6 months I have been working part-time as employee, part-time my own business, and the business being 100% online, tailored to the runner. And so let's just say, for an example, I have a runner who has knee pain. They sign up for a physio consult online, and they're prompted to fill out a whole bunch of questions about their injury. And then based on that injury, they're prompted to do a whole bunch of tests, whether it be like squats or lunges or calf raises or some strength tests, length tests, capacity tests at home. And then they fill out the results of that test and how strong they are. And then we jump on a call like this and we go through a few more tests, talk about their injury, talk about diagnosis, talk about how to most effectively manage that injury, because a lot of it is based around education. And then provide them with running programs, strengthening programs, injury advice, all that kind of stuff. And you're pretty much at my beck and call if you ever have any questions throughout your time working with me. It's pretty much just like jumping on another call like this, or jumping on a phone call or text messaging, updating your programs, that kind of stuff throughout the duration of your physio plan. And so trying to best deliver the most accurate evidence-based information out there is the key, and making sure they all understand it, they're all on the same wavelength, making sure it's not too complex with a whole bunch of physio jargon, making sure that you fully understand it, and yeah, creates amazing results.
Awesome. Cool. No doubt you put some links in the chat. It's good that you finally listened to me and jumped on this call, because everyone's going to be asking who they can connect you with, how they can help, whether it be with course creation, whether it be with affiliate marketing, whether it be with runners, running stories for the podcast, whatever it may be. Yeah, this is his passion. This is what he does. He helps me all the time. And it's it's definitely something worth doing. So feel free to put your links in the chat so people can connect, people can learn more about it. I'll see you later on. When we finish this call and we come out.
See you for lunch.
see you for lunch. Awesome. All right. Who else can we jump on here? Everyone, that's Brody. He's the bigger, smarter, better looking twin. But I have the group here. You guys are all my specialty. All right, let's grab on Dom. Dom, are you ready to jump on? Let's make this happen, shall we? When your Zoom catches up, feel free to unmute yourself. Feel free to say hi.
There we go. How's it going? How am I coming across?
Doing well. I think I can hear you perfectly. Everyone, this is Dom. Many of you may know him. Many of you have jumped on his podcast, doing a few cool things. Dom's been in my network for a while now. He's just comes from such a cool place. I wanted to introduce you to him. Dom, how are you?
Doing fabulous, Tyson, man. Thanks for inviting me on the call. Hello, world. Good to see all the folks saying hi in the chat box. It's fabulous.
Yeah, they're awesome. It's a cool, engaging group that are just all here to help and just come from a place of love, kindness, generosity. So please let us know what it is you're doing and how this community can help.
Sure thing. So as the gratitude emotion continues to grow. Thanks again for having me on, Tyson, and thank you everyone for taking your time out to listen. And apologies in advance because Zoom has been kind of my enemy these past few weeks during the pandemic with my residential Wi-Fi. But for me, I am a leadership trainer, best-selling author, and host of the Going North podcast that interviews authors from all over the world to coach and empower other folks to realize that success is tangible. And this podcast stemmed from years and years of folks telling me since my teenage years I got this radio voice. And the best way to get my voice out there is by helping others, because my life motto is advance others to advance yourself. Because when my book was published, Going North, back in 2016, I did my first ever radio interview. I kept getting cut off by the host. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll keep my answer short in every interview I'm on afterwards. Then I got on my first ever podcast a few months later. And the woman was actually expecting me to share more because a lot of the folks were dropping 40, 60 minutes of good conversation. I kept my contest short and she was expecting more. And I realized, you know what? Let me make sure this is not for someone else again. So shortly after publishing of my book and after dealing with some grief, because I was also a caregiver at the time for my dying father who passed away from Alzheimer's, and just really channeling and being around folks who actually helped me to realize, you know what, you can make this even better, because the Going North podcast is about giving authors a platform to get their stories heard, especially first-time authors that have no idea what they're doing. Because at the end of the day, we may be experts and masters of our own craft, but there's still something we don't know. And to help authors have at least a platform to go to get their voices heard is one way to help folks advance in life, because I interview folks from all walks of life, like Jen Forrester. Her interview is going live, funny enough, July the 2nd. And I've connected with a couple other folks in this group through Tyson that are going to be on this podcast. I'm about 290 episodes in, and the goal is 1,000 authors. So 1,000 authors. So if there's anyone in here who has a published book or looking to launch your book and you want to have a podcast interview to add to your marketing fire around your book launch, let me know. I'm taking interviews for late August and early September, and I'm happy to have you on. And thanks again, everyone, for taking time out to listen, and looking forward to helping out folks more. And I'm also open to guesting on other podcasts too, because that's another way to not only grow myself as a speaker, coach, and trainer, and to grow my own podcast, but another way to get not only my voice heard, but to get the voices of everyone who's been on my podcast to get their voices heard too. So that way we can make this giant ball of positive energy. That's right.
That's it. That's what we're all about, hey? And everyone here can see why I invited you in. It's because that's what this is all about, right? It's all about your business and your success can grow as a byproduct of just being of service. And how do you know that? Because you just register how it feels internally when you do that. That's an indication, right? That is an indication of your spirit and how you tap into this energy of why you're here. And so Dom just loves serving. If you know any authors, especially first-time authors who just want to share their book, get some exposure, share their story, feel free to reach out to Dom if you are an author or if you know some authors. He would love to have more and more guests share their amazing stories. And like I said, I've introduced you to some people. I've definitely been part of that, and it's been awesome. So feel free to check out Dom. Feel free to put any links in the chat, Dom. Make sure I think you're sending some messages here. Make sure your chat's set to all panelists and attendees so that everyone can see your message. Because sometimes it's just set to all panelists. So I can definitely add you. But yeah, go ahead and feel free to make sure that you can. Like Dan is messaging you now, and he said he's got at least 10 plus authors he can connect you with. Dan is very, very well connected, so everyone reach out to Dan as well, because he can very much help you. So is there anything else you want to share with the group before we finish up?
Well, once again, thanks again, Tyson, for having me on. And for those who are out there, just keep pushing and succeeding, and to keep helping each other grow, because if you're going to advance in life, it's best to advance others. So if you want to advance yourself, advance others. And that's all I got to add for now. I just want to keep it short and sweet and allow more time for other folks to share as well.
Awesome, Dom. We're gonna set you up with some really, really cool people. So thanks for jumping on. Thanks for sharing your heart. Thanks for sharing your story, and keep doing the work you are.
Woohoo!
Good stuff. Hey, good stuff. Who else can we jump on here? I think Ian. Ian, did you want to jump on? Awesome. Ian wasn't planning on jumping on, but hey, neither was a lot of people. How are you?
Yeah, cool, mate. You?
I'm doing well. It'd be cool just for a few minutes. Obviously, we met, what was it, 2 weeks ago, something like that. But it's awesome the work you're doing, and how much it's impacting people. And I'd love to give you the platform just to explain what it is you do, how did you do it, and how the community can help you moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I just want to first give a shout out to Dan, who's on here, because he is well connected and he's helped me a lot with getting clarity on exactly what I'm doing. When the lockdown hit and part of what we worked on had to stop, it just allowed me to get clearer, which is cool. So I'm at where I'm at now, which is I help people to heal their past pain, often trauma that they aren't even aware of because it happened at quite a young age. And once you can do that healing and acknowledge, feel, and release the pain, then you can really align to who you truly are. And the work I've been doing more recently is helping people to, once they align to themselves, to then align their personal brand to their business brand. So you get all that in beautiful alignment. And then when that happens and you have that personal alignment, then you can build those deep connections with the most important people in your life, which is what we all want, right? So it's amazing to have that clarity. It's amazing to be able to help people to heal that pain. Often they're not even sure why it's there, and they're not really sure when they don't even know the depths of the impact it's having until they really lean in and feel it. And like a lot of people describe, I love doing it. I love being able to pay it forward. And I love that question you asked at the start of thinking of a time where you just gave. And I actually reached back out to a person that couldn't afford my coaching. She was sleeping in her car, and I just gave her all the help I could at the time. And I noticed she started reconnecting with me on some of my posts recently. So I need to reach out to her just to see where she's at, because that was an amazing feeling. So I really appreciate you, allowing me to find that memory again, because that's magic. And so where I'm at the moment is I've always been a networker like yourself, and which is why I said in the comments earlier that this is my kind of place. Like I just naturally refer people, and I already thinking of many people that I need to join this this circle, because it's a beautiful place. I can already tell that from the energy of the people and the comments. I'm the same, so I'm building within my coaching ecology, and that might have even thinking about it. That might have even been your word, Tyson. I can't remember when we chatted. But it's a realization that when you work with me, you don't just work with me, but you work with my network. And so now I'm being more strategic with that, and actually want people in my network who offer really unique and specific skills, but they also need to be in alignment with my values, my energy, and who I am. So that's what I'm looking for. Aligned business owners that want to make an impact and that have a specific skill and knowledge that they can add value to, particularly the business owners that I work with, so that when they do heal those pains and clear the blockages, and then not only does their world expand but their business expands, then they will have really clear needs on then, okay, I've been doing all these things wrong, like for example marketing. Now I need to actually connect with my real people, and I need to connect with them quickly, and I need to connect with more of them. So I've got a marketing coach that's part of my network that he beats the numbers, right? He beats the industry standard by a long way, and and even the work he's helped me with in a short period of time has been phenomenal. So I need other people in my network who will be able to meet the needs of whatever else my business clients need once they open up to a new world of opportunity.
That's what it's all about. Hey, that's awesome. It's key. Not only can people release the pain and trauma that they don't even know they have, but that will impact their business, which impacts the difference they're here to make, and the impact that their heart's calling them towards. And you can get very, very clear on it once you clear those blockages. I can speak for myself. Since I started meditating so much, I just got a lot of my heart's nudge of different directions to go, including this group, including this community that I've built here. Just an insight or a calling or a pull from my meditation. And that's basically what you help people do, right? Is to clear those blockages, whether you have them or not. And Ian's obviously very, very intuitive and very, very specific about how he does it, and can see the trauma and pain in people that they can't see in themselves. So once you relieve that, you can basically channel that into the calling of what you're here to do in the world. Is that one way you describe it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, for those who've read The Medical Medium, and he talked about how he can hear what is going on in the physical body. So even talking in this environment, I can feel the emotion that's there, that's trapped, and without trying to sound too creepy for the people you've already had on, I could tell that there was some things there that they needed to release when they're ready, right? This is not about it being scary. It's just, well, if something's causing you anger or pain or sadness or whatever other emotion, then I feel that, and I help people to connect with whatever that is that they didn't even know what it was. And I think the beauty of it is that sometimes, yes, we need to go and explore what that was, but mainly I create a clearing without having to go back and wade through whatever that moment was in your life, because that's not always serving. And that's like, for people who don't want to dive into that and aren't ready, but want to clear the pain, that's what I love so much about what I do, because it gives them the space to do that and move forward. And it's such a beautiful experience for me as well, right? Because you know what it's like when any of the work you do, you get the benefit, and I get healing from the healing work that I do, and it's amazing. So
that's
yes,
awesome.
you described that well, and that's pretty intuitive of you too, given that we didn't talk a heap about that when we chatted.
Yeah. I get some insights and nudge. Everyone who jumps on the weekly group coaching calls, I could sort of feel that in people as well. And sometimes it doesn't even need to be explained. You can just basically feel it, and you can feel someone's energy. And the more you do that, the more you sort of tap into what's being shared between you. But man, that's awesome. Is there any specific things? Obviously, you're looking to expand your network and do that. Is there any other way we could help in terms of some sort of collaboration or connections that would help you with your next steps moving forward?
Probably the only other thing that comes to mind now, I'm sure there'll be more in the future, but is that I do a live chat on Facebook, and I'm always looking for guests that are in alignment and that share the same vision of impact. I know that's something that I'll be asking you to do, but even your previous guests, I think absolutely they'd be perfect. Brody, I'm a runner, and I got told not to run however many years ago. And I've been through my healing journey to be able to run again. So I reckon that'd be some really cool chats, whether I'm on his or he's on my chat. I reckon that'd be cool. So people who've got a story to tell and they want to get it out there because they want to impact more people, then I'd love to hear from them too.
Cool. Beautiful. So feel free to put your links in the chat so people can reach out, add you to the network. There's some people here who are definitely keen to learn more about your tools, your strategies, and your story. No doubt everyone who has a podcast as well will definitely love to hear what gifts you have and what you're doing into the world.
Cool, man. Thanks heaps, Tyson. I appreciate the opportunity to chat and for you pushing me into that, because clearly there was something that needed to come out, right?
Yes, exactly. I mean, you want to expand your network. This is where and how you do it with some really, really cool people. So no doubt when you put your link in there, everyone's going to reach out and say hi.
Awesome. Cheers. Cheers, brother.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Does anyone else want to pop on? Jeff, want to jump on? Let's bring on Jeff. Here we go again. Jeff, my friend, we have about 9 minutes. So when your Zoom catches up, feel free to say hi and let everyone know. Some people already know Jeff, but for those of you who are new, for those of you who don't know, feel free to steal the floor and introduce yourself and what you do.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm Jeff, obviously, and so I help people with chronic pain, autoimmune diseases, different ailments. I show them how their unconscious repressed emotions, the main emotion being unconscious rage, is the main source that protects people from feeling these emotions consciously. So I show them how specific personality traits can actually induce and keep the cycle of pain going, such as perfectionism, hostile, aggressive authority figures, people pleasing, all these different personality traits that put pressure on the person to perform. That little voice in your head that goes, "Oh, why'd you say that? I can't believe you said that. Are you serious? You actually said that? They're going to judge you. What are you doing?" That's the little voice that typically is the one that comes up to greet pain and disease.
Yeah, awesome. As soon as Jeff and I had a chat, it was a few weeks ago now, we basically had a really deep discussion, because this is the sort of work that I do, but I've never really delved into the physical elements of pain and of trauma, things of that. But I can definitely resonate with why people hold on to these emotional patterns that stop them experiencing life fully. So when Jeff was sort of explaining what it is he does, I was asking the deep questions. We were diving deep into John Sarno's work, and a lot of people who are studying why we unconsciously hold on to pain, and how that's stopping us basically live the wide variety of spectrum that we're meant to live. And so that's really what Jeff does. Is there anything in particular that we can do to help you out? Well, first of all, I think it'd be cool for everyone to know, why is it that you do what you do? Why is this such a pull and a calling for you to help in this way?
Yeah, I mean, I went through it myself for 8 years with an incurable autoimmune disease that nearly ended my life. And, it gave me the open door to go, maybe there's something else going on in my body. Maybe this isn't a physical thing. Maybe it's an emotional experience causing a physical disturbance. So after I healed, and it was an 8 to 10 year journey, and basically what happened was, when I discovered this type of work, like, my symptoms went away within a few weeks and I had my life back. So after that happened, I didn't really plan to get into this work. It just kind of happened. Then it took me down this path of becoming a breathwork trauma practitioner, as well as NLP coach and specialist in the mind-body spectrum of things. And now it's just happened, and it's really ironic, because the whole idea that we think we need to heal something is the pressure that we put on ourselves to heal something. So we actually create the pressure to dig deeper for these traumas, to go more into this. And it's just this reconfirming story. So once I saw that pattern and understood that that's what keeps people hostage to their symptoms, I was like, oh, well, this has to be shared. And it all comes back to, in my opinion, and seeing the people that I work with, being a child, being authentic, being expressive, making funny little voices, whatever you want to do. It's all about coming back to an authentic part of yourself that we kept hidden at the time when we needed to be safe.
Totally. The crazy thing is, I can definitely see the similarities between the emotional pain and physical pain, because as a lot of people I've talked to who have recovered from physical pain in this manner sort of create that shift when, exactly like you explained, they no longer resist it. Some people can instantly start to heal drastically with the mindset of sending love to that pain, or sending love to that side of you, or healing that emotional trauma by not only having a deep understanding, but by loving that side of you and seeing that there's lessons in here to learn and all those different things. And so dropping that resistance and surrendering and allowing and having a deeper insight drastically heals a lot of these elements. So how is it specifically that this community could help? What are your next steps in growing your business?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I just wanted to say one quick thing is that like the sending love and everything is amazing, right? But if we try to go right to love and bypass anger, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. So we can't forgive someone unless we realize and accept how angry we actually are at the person. So the denial of the anger continues the symptom. The love is something that comes after, because you see the compassion of why that happened. So I just wanted to clarify that before. But yeah, as far as helping me, so what I'm doing is I'm creating a program that takes someone from point A to point B, from basically pain and disease to pain and disease free. And it's a program that is going to be interactive. And it's going to get people to actually put these things into practice. So like, today, for instance, you're going to have a conversation with your loved one, and you're going to set the boundaries you need in order for this relationship to work, and both mutual respect in both areas of the relationship. And so for me, I'm at the point is I'm creating a website. So I definitely need help with the website, because on the tech side of things, I ain't good at that. I'm the creative side of things. That's my thing. So if someone is open to helping me with that, I'd love to trade some different services too, and give you the teachings and stuff that I've accumulated. And if there's someone going through pain and disease or something and needs some guidance, I'd be happy to share that as well. But as far as what I need right now is website and the tech side of things, with specifically WordPress and Elementor, and creating this site and this platform to allow people to find their light.
Beautiful. So if you or someone you know has those expertise in tech, in WordPress, whatever you think can help in creating this course for Jeff, then definitely connect him. Definitely connect him with someone. Jeff is on the Slack channel as well. So I'll put that in here again, if I could, for everyone to jump on Slack. All the members that are on here and have been on past calls are in there, and you can send direct messages. You can organize collaborations. You can put in one of the channels promoting your business, your links, all of those different things. Everyone who's new on these calls and new to the group will be introduced and will be invited to that channel. So then they'll be able to see you, what you're all about, all your links, all those different things. Anything else, Jeff, before we finish up? We've hit the hour mark. What are your lasting parting words?
Absolutely. So I just want to, how many people out there are going through pain and disease or some kind of ailment right now? Wave your virtual hands.
I think that's
so
everyone.
I guess the one thing that I want to give to everyone and in this group as well is just look at the anxiety prior to the pain or disease or whatever happened. And if you didn't have the pain or disease, what emotional feeling would still be present even though that pain or disease wasn't there? Because that is the feeling that is trying to get your attention, and the pain and disease is protecting you and keeping you safe from feeling that consciously. So if you didn't have that, what's feeling would still be present.
Yeah.
And that is ultimately the guidance of your healing
Beautiful.
and
How
finding
is
the
that?
wholeness.
And ask yourself the question of how is that physical pain or that illness protecting you from feeling what you unconsciously don't want to feel? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. Like, what conversation would you need to have? Who would you need to talk to? Who would you need to get angry, or what would you need to get angry about? Right. A lot of this stuff too has to come back with God, is like the idea that we can't get angry. But, you know, when you look at religious figures, like for Jesus, for instance, he's flipping tables. He's like, get this shit out of here. You know? So it's like, once we accept the part of us that is angry, in my opinion and what I've seen, that is the enlightenment of liberation of coming back to being a child.
Beautiful. So
that's the love too.
Yeah. So your parting words are be like Jesus and flip tables.
Flip them damn tables, man.
Love it. Love it. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing, Jeff. That's been really cool. No doubt people are going to reach out and say hi and connect further.
Awesome. I look forward to it. Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. Always appreciate what you're doing. It's so good to connect with everyone.
Cheers, mate. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. That's what a call, guys. We got a lot of people in there, plenty of people to reach out. Like I say, feel free to join Slack. You can obviously reach out and send people personal messages and organize some meetings or organize some Zoom calls, whatever you want to do to connect further. This has been really, really cool. Of everyone on here. So just doing their unique work in their own way and releasing to the world what they can. I'll see you guys next week. I'll see you tomorrow. If you're jumping on the group coaching call, that's going to be really cool. Always special every week. Yeah, same day, same time next week. I'll see you all there. If you have any questions on how to engage here and how you can grow this with me, definitely let me know, because I'm looking to see who's wanting to join in expanding this group, sharing some links, inviting some people in, looking for creative ways to do that with you guys. So if you're wanting to do that and wanting to help out, feel free to say hi. Feel free to say hi to me, connect with me, and we'll see where we can go moving forward. I'm keen to do this each and every week. It's been super, super special, and I'll definitely do what I can to connect every single one of you who can help each other moving forward. So thanks so much, guys. I will see you same day, same time next week. Put it in the calendar, and I'll introduce you to some action and to some more really cool people. Take care, guys.